Hi there. Welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. In today's show, bauxite alumina production re-energized at all part. Plus, registering your business or company. Later, how to get rid of mosquitoes and protect yourselves against mosquito-borne diseases. So sit back and relax for these and more as we keep you informed through the pages of Jamaica Magazine.
Tune into this station on Sunday, November 19 to catch an exclusive interview on issues and answers with Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, Christine Lagarde, as she discusses strategies for Jamaica's economic growth and development. That's an exclusive interview with IMF's Managing Director, Christine Lagarde, this Sunday, November 19, right here on this station.
The country is expecting significant foreign exchange earnings from alumina export due mainly to the opening and expansion of the GISCO all-part facility in St. Elizabeth. The reopening marked a major turning point for the mining sector, which will experience major diversification. More on that in this feature.
It is revival time. It is a revival of the mining industry.
On June 21, 2017, Alpart Alumina Bauxite plant in Nain, St. Elizabeth reopened and resumed alumina production 6 months ahead of schedule. The plant was brought back to life by its new owners, Jamaica Iron and Steel Company, GISCO, and this has brought enormous opportunities for Jamaica. Already local communities in and around Nain, which saw a downturn in business and livelihood since the plant's closure in 2009, are now witnessing new life and increasing economic buzz. Production at the plant was halted in the aftermath of the global recession and a drop in metal prices.
To see the plant reopen today and to hear the engines, the broilers, the steam room, to hear the hum of the plant is like music to our ears.
The positive impact of GISCO reopening is being felt in the economies of Elizabeth and Manchester. The hotels and guest houses are full and reporting increased occupancy rates. The shops, the wholesalers, the bars, the farm stores, the supermarkets, and the various other establishments are reporting increased business.
The opening of the plant is good for us because generally people can't get employed because when the plant did close, it was very, very hard. You can hardly finance yourself.
Everybody is feeling good to know that the plant is reopened now. As you can see, a lot of things is going on now. Kenton people are feeling good.
Today now that we mark a new day, yes, and it's a job creation. I know it takes a lot of youth off the street so that they can reduce them crime and so forth.
The community council, the PRO at Alpart, as in conjunction with the police, we will continue to go into the communities to sensitize the people in order to ensure that they make good of whatever economic gains they are achieving at this time.
Alpart, which was previously owned and operated by Russian company UC Rusal, provided 1,000 jobs, which is set to increase significantly under the new ownership. Looking back on the journey to this milestone reflects some memorable moments. July 19, 2016, when the sale to GISCO was finalized, and the official handing over to the Chinese company on November 24, 2016. Jamaica Iron and Steel Company Limited initially invested in excess of $360 million in its Jamaican operation, $299 million for the acquisition, and more than $60 million on the rehabilitation work to facilitate its reopening. The Jamaican government provided a 5-year bauxite levy waiver under the condition that within 3 years of the reopening, GISCO will build a new 2 million ton per annum alumina plant. The new plant will complement the existing 1.65 million tons per annum facility.
What we are witnessing today is a prelude to a scale of investment never before seen in this industry, and an emphasis on joint venture development as we move Jamaican companies parallel to China's growth.
GISCO has proposed to invest in excess of $2 billion to create a special economic zone with its aluminium refineries, Alpart 1 and 2, and the expansion and transformation of Port Kaiser. An energy-efficient power plant, an 80-ton per annum aluminum foil fabrication plant, and a tool and machinery manufacturing plant are also to be built. Further related investments in value-added industries will include limestone and cement processing. GISCO will also be ensuring that mined-out lands are returned to the people for them to utilize those properties for agricultural production and other purposes.
It is the intention of the government to ensure that all these investments that require high technology and high human resource capabilities, that they can be found right here in Jamaica. Specialist welders, the people who deal with specialized equipment maintenance, the engineers, we have the capacity and the capability to train them right here in Jamaica.
With the new streams of business, it is also expected that foreign exchange earnings from the mining sector will increase significantly over the $540 million earned in 2016. Government is also establishing appropriate policy and legislation to underpin the new and energized mining industry to better manage the country's mineral resources in line with Jamaica's long-term development plan.
The mineral sector revised, we must protect our mineral resources. We must grow and diversify the sector and live harmoniously with the environment.
Be your own boss. You decide the limit to your wealth by having your own business or company. Being on the right path to business success means operating legally. And to do so, it must be registered with the Companies Office of Jamaica, a process that has become as easy as 1, 2, 3. Take a look.
Have you realized that more and more Jamaicans are becoming their own bosses? Think about it. Varying types of companies or businesses are being opened all over the island. But before they could start their operations, they first had to be registered with the Companies Office of Jamaica, COJ. The process to register a business and a company are not the same. In fact, many believe that a company is the same as a business, but they really aren't. A company is a non-profit or profit-generating commercial enterprise registered or incorporated under the Companies Act, while a business is a sole trader or partnership registered under the Business Names Act. So with that said, we will be differentiating the registration process for each of these two groups for you. Let's begin with how to register a business. For new applicants, you will need to complete and submit the Business Registration Form BRF1, also known as the Super Form. You will also need a document verifying the owner or owner's current place of address, such as a driver's license or utility bill. The business owner or owners must present their tax registration number or TRN, an original valid government identification card, and a work permit or exemption letter where applicable. Professional certification is required for some businesses, such as doctors, lawyers, dentists, pharmacists, engineers, architects, surveyors, real estate dealers and developers, custom brokers, hairdressers, barbers, pest control operators, child care and golden age care services. Now, the last thing left to do is to pay the necessary registration fees. The registration fee of a sole trader is $2,500. To register a partnership of 2 to 5 persons is also $2,500. The registration fee of a partnership of 6 to 20 persons is $5,000. And the registration of a partnership and a trade name as it relates to a corporation is $3,000 each. After you've submitted all the relevant documents and made the requisite payments, the documents will be verified by the COJ. Then within 2 working days, you'll receive a certificate of registration.
This certificate is valid for 3 years, and the TRN and NIS number of your business will be displayed at the base.
Certification ensures that you are registered with the National Housing Trust and Hard Trust NTA. Now, let's move on to how to register your company. There are some company owners who, before registering their non-profit or profit-generating company, reserved their company name. The COJ has made it possible for these persons who may not be able to afford the fees associated with the registration of their company, or who are in the process of accumulating the relevant documents, to first reserve a name for their company up to 90 days before it's registered. This is a very beneficial opportunity because if you do this, you will 1. Establish that the proposed name is appropriate and available for use. 2. Protect the name from use by others during the 90 days reservation period. And 3. Allow your company assured use of the name for pre-incorporation contracts. So, if you decide to reserve the name of your company and reap the benefits, you will need to do 2 things. Complete and submit the company's name search and name reservation form, Form 6. And when that's done, you'll be required to pay a fee of $500 for the name search and $3,000 for the name reservation. At the end of the process, you will receive a letter advising you of the reservation of your company name. But if you choose to go right ahead and register your company, there are a few things to do. First on the list, complete the Articles of Incorporation form. If you are registering a profit-making company, you will complete Form 1A. But if you are registering a non-profit company such as a church, charity, service club, or NGO, you will be required to complete Form 1B. When completing the forms, you should ensure they contain details such as
the name of the company with the word limited added at the end, the core business of the company, the classes of shares and the maximum number of shares that the company is authorized to issue. For example, 1,000 ordinary shares.
Restrictions on share transfers, minimum and or maximum number of directors, names and particulars of the proposed directors and the company secretary, names of proposed shareholders, as well as any restrictions on the business that the company may carry on. For example, the company may not support any political party. All articles will attract a stamp duty fee. Stamping is done at the COJ. The second thing to do to register your company is to complete the Business Registration Form, BRF1, also known as the Super Form. On this form, you will be filling in the required information needed on the principal director, all other directors, the company secretary, registered office, and the projected start date. These details are now mandatory for the registering of a company. The super forms should be signed by all the directors of the company, as well as the person declaring the accuracy of the information submitted on the form. This person must present an original valid government-issued identification or a certified copy of a government-issued identification card on location. The final thing to do is to pay transaction fees. The cost for registration is $24,000, and there's a minimum of $500 for stamp duty. After you've gone through all the steps and made the requisite payments, COJ will verify the documents, and then you'll receive a certificate of incorporation within 5 working days.
With the certificate of incorporation, you will also receive the company's TRN and NIS number. The certification ensures that you are registered with the National Housing Trust and Hard Trust NTA. You also get a tax compliance certificate, TCC, which is valid for 90 days.
If the time period to get your certificate is too long and you want to register at the soonest possible time, then you can make use of the expedition services offered by the COJ. There's the same-day service which can be accessed at a cost of $6,000 for companies and $3,000 for businesses. Then there's the next-day express service, which can be accessed at a cost of $3,000 for companies and $1,500 for businesses. The cutoff time for the same-day express service is 9:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. for the next-day express service. And that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact the company's Office of Jamaica for more information by calling 908-4419 or visiting their office at 1 Grenada Way, Kingston 5. Remember, you can access all forms and samples on the COJ's website at orcjamaica.com. Congratulations to you and all the best with your business or company.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya and dengue viruses. Protect yourself from the bite of this mosquito. A message from the Ministry of Health.
The inclement weather that has been affecting our region presents ideal conditions for the breeding of pesky mosquitoes. And with the increased number of mosquito-borne diseases, we should all seek to protect ourselves by controlling the mosquito population. One way to do that is to destroy their breeding sites. Earlier this week, we showed you how to do that around the home. Today, we explore some other common areas.
We're looking for any container or anything which can hold water. It doesn't need a lot of water for that mosquito to deposit its eggs. Very shallow quantity of water they can deposit in it.
The rain has fallen and this has collected water. And if it is allowed to sit in the environment for a couple of days, the Aedes aegypti will breed on it. This is a plastic over a pail and the water is on the plastic. This is a beautiful breeding site for the Aedes aegypti mosquito. We have a similar one right here. There's water on the top of this container and the Aedes aegypti mosquito will breed in it. Once the water begins to evaporate and she has a space to lay her eggs, she will lay her eggs and this will then become a breeding site. Turn it. We do appreciate that roof gutters are very necessary in some areas that do not have pipe water, so it helps to collect the rainwater when it comes. However, if these roof drains become blocked by trash or other things, then it makes the water stagnant and it becomes a major breeding site for the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So it's important if you have these roof gutters that you keep them clear, that the water is able to run. Even among your plants, we have plants that are, because of how the leaves overlap each other, they are able to collect water. And Aedes aegypti loves to breed in those environments. We suggest that persons do. If you think you love these plants and you want them, put them in pots. So when they do collect water, you're able to pick up the pots, drain them out and put them down. Because as it is right now, it's very difficult for us to get rid of the water and they will just continue to be in the environment as breeding sites.
This is a tire which has been discarded, but it's just in the backyard. And what we have now is apparently rainwater has now settled inside there and we have it breeding. The Aedes are back to the breeding inside here. It can be used as an enclosure for your plants, like a potted plant situation. So what we'll show you now is how we can have it filled with dirt that will ensure that when rain does fall, mosquito will not breed in it.
There's also a method of stacking the tires so that they will not collect water. We advise the tire shop owners to, for each tire that they get, to punch a hole in each of the tires. Once that is done, they can stock them in this plaiting form. So they have one row going in a particular direction and then another set going in the opposite direction, and they will continue with this. What this does, it allows the water to be directed towards where the hole is bored. So even if the rain comes and water goes in, the water will not settle but go out. We know that most churches have what is called a baptismal pool. And we have found baptismal pools to be a major breeding site for the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So what is it that churches should do? We recommend that all baptismal pools be covered properly so that the mosquito will not have access to it for breeding. Sometimes the pools are shaped very funny, and so it's very difficult to cover. In those instances, we ask persons to empty the pool at least once per week. And after emptying the pool, we ask that you scrub the sides to ensure that you have dislodged all the eggs. So we saw many sites that were breeding the Aedes aegypti mosquito today. And we saw that these sites were found in and around our homes, business places. And if we do not deal with these breeding sites,
they are going to continue to be there, posing a risk for the transmission of diseases because they are breeding the Aedes aegypti, the mosquito. So you must take action to rid your environment of those sites. So what is it that we're asking you to do? We want you to make this a habit. Once a week, search for and destroy the breeding sites of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
On the board this week, the public is being advised that the JCDC Festival of the Performing Arts workshops for music, drama, and traditional folk forms to be held in Kingston and St. Andrew have been rescheduled. These performing arts workshops will be held at the Randy Williams Entertainment Center starting at 8:30 a.m. daily on the following rescheduled dates: Speech, November 21, Music, November 22 and 23, Drama, November 29, Speech, Stand-Up Comedy, November 30, and Traditional Folk Forms, December 6. For more details, contact the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, 3 to 5 Phoenix Avenue, Kingston 10. Telephone 926-5726-9. Citizens of Clarendon are invited to come out and participate in another Ministry of Health Jamaica Moves Healthy Lifestyle event on Thursday, November 30 at the Bargain Village Shopping Complex on Main Street, Maypen. There will be a 4K run walk at 5:45 a.m. Come out also for the health fair beginning 9 a.m. There will be free health screenings, including cholesterol and height and weight checks. The event is hosted by Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton. There will be enough prizes, fitness workouts, and entertaining performances at 4:30 p.m. Jamaica Moves. Ready, set, sweat. The big screen opens once again tomorrow, Sunday, November 19 at the National Arena as Father Holong and Friends present Queen Esther. For info and tickets, call 948-6173, 585-2263, 806-1222, or 806-1177. Email mopmusicministry@missionariesofthepoor.org. All proceeds in aid of the work of the Missionaries of the Poor. The Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ, is advising persons who served as Election Day workers in the October 30, 2017 by-elections that payments are available. Poll clerks, indoor agents, polling station security assistants, and landlords may collect their payments at the EOJ office in the constituency where they worked. Payments for supervisors, presiding officers, technicians, caterers, and couriers will be disbursed from the EOJ head office at 43 Duke Street. Persons who have not submitted their taxpayer registration number are advised to do so urgently, as their payments cannot be processed without a valid TRN. And that's all for our community notices today. Send us your events for broadcast on the JIS Community Notice Board. Call 922-868022 or send an email to cbishop@jis.gov.jm.
And now for some of the stories in our news this week.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. Jamaica played host to this week's IMF High-Level Caribbean Forum, which brought together a wide group of stakeholders to discuss means of unleashing growth and strengthening resilience in the Caribbean. During the discussions and subsequent bilateral talks, IMF Managing Director Christine Lagarde praised the Jamaican government's commitment to fiscal discipline. For his part, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said the country was expecting to see improved ease of doing business ranking in 2018 and expressed confidence in Jamaica achieving its target of 5% growth in the next 3 years. On Wednesday, the Planning Institute of Jamaica reported estimated growth of 0.9% for the July to September quarter, with growth in the range of 1.5 to 2.5% predicted for the October to December quarter and the 2017-2018 fiscal year. Managing Director Dr. Wayne Henry also made it clear that the Jamaican economy was not in a recession.
Recessions are generally defined as 2 consecutive quarters of negative economic growth, as measured by the seasonally adjusted quarter-on-quarter figures for real GDP. Based on the official estimates of quarterly real GDP as provided by Statin, the economy has only recorded 1 quarterly decline in GDP in 2017, which was attributed largely to the adverse weather conditions experienced. When you consider the general buoyancy in the economy, including increased industrial activities and strong employment growth, we can see that the economy is showing positive signs.
Government has signed a $15 million loan agreement with the Inter-American Development Bank to finance its Energy Management and Efficiency Program, EMEP.
The objective of the EMEP is to bolster the government's efforts in the areas of energy efficiency and energy conservation through the design and implementation of measures targeting key government facilities as well as fuel conservation in road transportation to reduce the demand for fuel imports.
The Senate passed the National Identification and Registration Act on Monday with 168 amendments, sending the legislation back to the House of Representatives for final review.
We want to be clear on the policy that everyone will be included on this. Everybody shall be a part of NIDS. But we will not enforce with a penalty until after the majority of Jamaicans are on board and we have had the benefit of the parallel education process.
Monday also marked the start of a ramped-up public education program on the National Identification System. Jamaica Promotions Corporation, JAMPRO, the Jamaica Exporters Association, and the Jamaica Business Development Corporation have signed a memorandum of understanding to provide institutionalized support to micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs. The Transport and Mining Ministry is reporting that Jamaica should shortly see an 88% increase in foreign exchange earnings from the bauxite alumina sector due to the opening of GISCO Alpar's 1.6 million tons capacity plant. Meanwhile, the Portfolio Minister announced that Alpart would be making 2 shipments of bauxite per month starting this year.
The first 35,000 tons of alumina is on the wharf waiting to be shipped on the 5th of December, right? And the first time in 10 years.
Parliament has approved a 45-day extension to the traffic ticket amnesty to run from November 27 to January 13 next year. The National Security Minister says once the extension has expired, motorists who did not use the amnesty will be pursued.
In addition to that, a large portion of the funds collected will be invested in the traffic department of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, with additional vehicles, bikes, equipment, and improvement of the traffic offices island-wide, including the Accident and Reconstruction Unit.
And finally, the Education Ministry has received 130 handheld metal detectors and 5 walk-through metal scanners to assist schools in dealing with incidents of violence and crime prevention. It's part of the ministry's Improved Safety and Security in Schools project, jointly funded by the USAID.
The long-term strategy is to socialize in terms of building greater resilience and self-control. We're continually putting more resources into our schools to enable our stakeholders to better manage a myriad of challenges.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Join us again tomorrow when we'll do this all over again. Until then, you can click online at jis.gov.jm and visit our YouTube channel to get the latest government information. Also, follow us on Twitter and Facebook and download our app from the Google Play Store to stay informed. On behalf of the entire production team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson wishing you all the best. Till next time, do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.